Welcome to Save As Ability, a podcast to educate and inform you about disability employment issues. My name is David D'Arcangelo, and I'm your disability policy expert. Hey everybody, great to be back with you, David D'Arcangelo, for another episode of Save As Ability. Please help us grow our channel. Subscribe, comment, like, share, all that stuff, so we can continue to have great content flowing for you. We've got an episode here today. We're going to do the top 5 reasonable accommodations. Now, of course, there's really not just 5 reasonable accommodations. There's a myriad. There's an unending list of what can be a reasonable accommodations. But what I've tried to do is, as I've advised clients and employees and employers on reasonable accommodations, there's certain themes that have arisen. So really, it should probably be the top 5 themes, I guess, of reasonable accommodations. So I want to talk a little bit about that because it's so important to make sure both for the employee or prospective employee and the employer to really keep people as productive as possible. And, businesses want great employees and employees want to be productive at work. So it's a win-win. All right, so the first one is modification to equipment or tools. This is probably one of the most common types of reasonable accommodations. And really, it spans a wide array of things. It could be adaptive equipment. It could be providing an ergonomic chair or a sit-stand desk or, a specialized keyboard, maybe screen reader technology, software for your computer, or, magnifiers for people with vision impairments, or, something that helps the person with a disability be as productive as they can, right? That's the goal of all these reasonable accommodations is, what do I need to be most successful in the workplace? And it really, again, it benefits both the employee and the employer. It's a win-win when it's done well. So I would say the number one reasonable accommodation is going to be some type of adaptive equipment. And equipment is, again, going to be a large thing there. It's going to be everything from software to physical keyboards and chairs and all the things to be able to accommodate people of all different prevalence types of disabilities, whether it's mobility, cognitive, sensory, whatever the case may be. All right, number 2 reasonable accommodation that I see most often is, and particularly now this has gotten even more so after the pandemic, is alternative work schedules or flexible work schedules, and really allowing employees to be able to adjust their hours, maybe even telecommuting. We've had episodes about how much telecommuting has ameliorated barriers, traditional barriers of getting to and from work for people with disabilities. Yeah, I'm legally blind. I can't drive. I can't tell you how many interviews I went on where to get to the interview was a long thing. And I can't even imagine having to do that every day. And as a result, I either didn't get offered the job or I didn't want to take the job because the commuting was just too complicated, took up too much of the day. Now with telework and all we've learned as a result of COVID and being able to go remote, that is a big game changer. And I think we've seen it in many of the data points for people with disabilities now getting employed at higher rates and joining the workforce at higher rates. So again, whether it's telecommuting or whatever it is to be able to adjust somebody's schedule, maybe they can go on medical appointments, maybe they can take a break because they have fatigue related to their disability, whatever the case may be, being flexible there, both for the employee and the employer, is key, okay? The next one is number 3, reskilling, or what used to be called job crafting. Some called it job carving. Nobody really liked that name. It was a little derogatory. So now we're talking about job crafting or reskilling. And really what we're talking about here is, this is used more often when people have some job history and they've been in the job, they've been at a particular workplace for a little bit of time. And now they've been able to identify, if we could just take this duty away and I'll take on another duty, but, just help me maximize here. And it's that interactive process. I think you're going to be able to discover how reskilling or job crafting or modifying the duties or tasks to be able to better suit the person with a disability. And again, it's going to work better for the person with the disability, but it's also probably going to work better for the employer if the employer can be flexible and open to it and really kind of allow for that reallocation of responsibilities that may have traditionally sat in one job description. So, whether it's additional training or whatever it is you need to do to accommodate the disability, I think that's, again, a win-win. That's what we're going for here in all of these scenarios. Number 4, reasonable accommodation that I see oftentimes is the ability, or sometimes inability, unfortunately, to incorporate the principles of universal design into the workplace, into the job itself. So oftentimes people with disabilities are not able to access jobs because the built environment is really not suited to their disability and really not suited to be able to accommodate them. So it's really, this one's a little bit more for employer-centric to be able to retool your environment, have your environment so that it is fully accessible for people with disabilities, people of all abilities. So that physical access, whether it's a ramp, whether it's a handrail, whether it's, having enough accessible parking or, monitors that are large enough, whatever the case may be, but those universal design principles are really going to go a long way to attracting people with disabilities into your organization and getting the most productivity out of people with disabilities who are already in your organization. Again, we've talked about this in previous episodes, and we've got one coming up actually in a couple of episodes about the delineation between self-disclosure and self-identification, because there's many people in the workplaces right now that are fearful of identifying their disability. So by incorporating these universal design principles, one, you're probably going to create a better environment where they're going to say, hey, you can count me, you can identify me as a person with a disability. But also then providing them a space where they're going to be able to be more productive, because really they I don't want to say need the reasonable accommodation, but by introducing the universal design, maybe the reasonable accommodation gets encapsulated that way, if you will, right? Incorporated that way. All right. And then, so number 5, what I would say, the number 5 reasonable accommodation is really just kind of making services available. So proactively offering support services, whether that's ASL interpreters or having access to somebody who can assist on a certain duty, or, other things within employee resource groups, like providing services, peer group support or counseling, or, where people can share about the challenges they're having in the particular workplace. So in terms of advertising to prospective employees, you're definitely, as employers, going to get a much broader pool if it's on your website that those types of things are available, and that you're thinking of that your organization is being proactive that way. So, and then as the employee, now you have resources to be able to fully maximize your productivity and your ability, right? So, all right, these top 5, again, are nowhere near the amount of accommodations. I've tried to keep them at a high level to just give you an idea of what we want to do in this interactive process to be able to get to a reasonable accommodation, to be able to maximize the skills and abilities that person with a disability has. So that's a win-win when it's done well for the person with the disability and for the business and their business process. All right. So most of these are, less than $100, a couple $100. Most of these are not very expensive, or, they takes a little bit of thinking, but, that can be done. Good organizations adapt. I mean, the best organizations have a culture that is going to be able to adapt, that is going to be able to maximize all the skills and abilities that people have to offer, regardless of whatever disability they may or may not have. So I hope this was helpful. Again, I'm trying to gear this towards both prospective employees, employees, and the employer, right? It's not just one side or the other. It's both. You need employees to have employers and vice versa. So hope this was helpful. Please, this was sent in by somebody on LinkedIn made a comment at one point like, hey, Dave, talk about reasonable accommodations. If you'd like to see a topic in an episode, again, put it in the comments, send us an email. You know how to get in touch with us. But hope you enjoyed this. It's David D'Arcangelo. Say visibility. We'll see you next time. I hope you have a great day. For more information about disability employment issues, please visit our website, disabilityemploymentsolutions.com. The Save As Ability podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our YouTube channel at Disability Policy Expert, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your ratings and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by Pod Pro Entertainment. Save As Ability lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. #TheNewRadio. Again, my name is David D'Arcangelo, and I'm your disability policy expert. Until next time, thank you. I hope you have a great day.